look, right off the bat, yes, welcome to 155, a podcast about punk songs. My name's Josiah. This is Sam. Hello, Sam. Welcome here.
Hello. Hi.
Just real quick,
Pleasure to be here.
Off the top, I just did want to, I have like kind of a weird sense of humor, and it's kind of like I think that if I wasn't here, you would do probably a different kind of show that wouldn't be so, I don't know, maybe for some people annoying. You'd probably do one that was like more just kind of like not normal, but like a little bit more straightforward, or kind of like
fact based.
And this month especially, we're talking about something that's like important,
not as long,
important to you and important to so many people. We're talking about this band that all of you love, and like I thought it'd be funny last week to do this like soundboard joke where it's like,
you did think that was going to be funny. You were really excited about that.
Because like to me, this band Jawbreaker that's so important to you and so many people is kind of the epitome of like DIY indie culture, whatnot.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like the epitome of like a kind of a serious thing, and it's okay to take things seriously sometimes. Like that's the problem, is that I always ruin it, but it's okay. And then obviously on the flip side, Machine Gun Kelly's kind of a bit of a punchline to some people. So the kind of tension I was playing, I just felt like I was being a little bit annoying with the soundboard thing last week. So I think it's not fair to just do that. Like every time we say Jawbreaker, it's going to be MGK saying Jawbreaker. So I just wanted to apologize off the top for doing that to their band name. And what was the name of the song this week again?
This week we're doing the Jawbreaker song "Kiss the Bottle."
Kiss the bottle all night.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Kiss the bottle all night.
You're gonna be cool about it. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna use the soundboard in the same way.
Kiss the bottle all night.
No, because I don't think I've. Yeah, I mean, I don't even really know how I did it. I can't figure out how to do it again this week. So.
It just happens. It just happened once randomly. Okay, that's good. I'm glad to know you've got your darker impulses under control.
Yeah, exactly. I also didn't really explain to you what's going on.
I figured it out. I've done the pod a few times, man.
If there's ever a gap of 0.5 milliseconds between us talking.
Yeah. Well, I assume it's either that you've done something trolling with a soundboard or you've been distracted by one of your own tweets. And so I will say it's sort of hard sometimes to tell between those things if it's
that's true.
It's a joke
it could be either,
joke.
Or just I mean,
exactly.
well, that's the thing. I don't want to ruin any of it for anyone with as we talk about kiss the bottle. Is that the kiss?
Yeah, the name of the Jawbreaker song we're doing is "Kiss the Bottle." I believe.
All night. Yeah. Okay. Just
all
checking.
Night.
And so I don't know. I mean, we're kind of if you'll allow it, we're kind of in sort of, I think, my zone is kind of, I'm staking out this little first seggy zone for myself before we get too serious.
You're definitely spraying your scent all over the first seggy.
So I was just, I don't know.
Seggy.
Is there anything new with you this week that you want to talk about, or would you want to know maybe what's new with MGK, Machine Gun Kelly? What's going on with him?
New this week with me?
Because there's been a few developments with Machine Gun Kelly. He went for lunch with Megan Fox today. I saw.
Oh.
He also has been the best thing
cool.
that happened this week is people love to say that MGK can't play guitar and that he doesn't play guitar and the kill switch on his guitar is always on and stuff. And he posted this like video of himself proving that he can play guitar. But this is just off I was more working on my apology to start the episode, so I don't have it in front of me, so I'll get it right now. But here we go. Yeah, I guess maybe I can load the tweet in the watch together. This is him proving he can play guitar with just like really upsettingly bad. Just doing like uncle noodling. So he can play guitar, but just kind of
like haters step off, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. Have you thought about MGK at all in the last week?
Thankfully, you've sort of taken on that load for me. it's like you don't have to worry about things. I'm like, I don't worry about,
I have load-bearing walls, I think, that can be hit.
Yeah, you do. You bared some loads, and as a result, I don't have to worry about it because I know you're doing all the worrying and the thinking about MGK for two, and for that I'm grateful. I think you've freed me up to think about other things like watching Pistol on FX. These are the things that are allowed.
Oh my God!
Okay,
that's actually really clever that you just said that, because I don't know if you know this, Sam, but actually you and I just released exclusive about that. I don't know.
I didn't know that.
You did?
That is the sort of thing that I actually wouldn't know, to be fair. Like, we did an episode? When? A couple hours ago? That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
No spoilies about whether or not we love the show, but we had a great time talking about the show.
We had a pretty good time.
That we love.
And we do have a good time talking about things that we hate. So that is not a spoilie. It's just
Cast the bottle all night.
I clicked the wrong thing. Why don't we go into the punk news segment?
Okay.
Punk news. Why don't we go ahead and pass the bottle around and kiss it together, put our tongues all over it. Exactly. That's the thing. If I was going to do the soundboard thing, it was going to be that sound with the clink of a bottle.
Better one.
No, I didn't do one this week. I decided not to do it.
Okay. Interesting.
What do you have?
I can't hear it either way, so that's
What
fine.
do you have for me, punk news, Sam?
Well, I think it's Pistols week, right? I was maybe going to talk about the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, but I feel like I've done that pretty much every week.
You do. You're obsessed with the Queen. Also, didn't she meet Paddington the other day? That's pretty cool.
I believe the Queen met Paddington, but that's Paddington
cool.
Paddington's great, but Paddington's not punk. But a punk is a punk. Yeah, exactly. Is of course Maisie Williams, star of Game of Thrones in the past, and currently the star of Pistol. Vogue has written about Maisie Williams leaning into punk rock style for her Pistol press tour.
For the press tour. Okay, because I was thinking if she, it would almost be more punk if she was in the show playing this iconic character from Sex Pistols lore, whose name I do know, and I'm not just vamping because I can't remember who she is.
No, if you look through this article, you might find it. So
Pamela Rook, aka Jordan.
I knew that was on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jordan. It would be almost more punk if she dressed normie in it. Obviously she was gonna lean into punk style when she's in a punk thing. That's not really. But you're saying
but
she's doing the press tour. It's rubbed off on her.
She's living punk now. So this article
she's serving punk.
Yeah, exactly. And you can really in this photo that accompanies the article, I'm like, oh yeah, I could wear that to the local basement show.
You could wear that to the fest, and I think it would be.
This is big fest. Like you can picture her getting arm in arm, singing those Larry Arm songs with her.
That's what I would like to
genders.
know. What it will take for the word punk to start. Like eventually, the horseshoe theory of punk is going to start making sense for everyone. It's all going to come full circle. What will it take for some teen that got into punk during the pandemic through Disney Plus subscription, through Cruella, through Pistol, through all these things? Will they ever even find out about the fest and go see Brendan Kelly and the boys? Or will they? Will those things
I
never
hope there's
meet?
a direct Cruella to Fest pipeline.
I hope there honestly isn't, because I don't think Fest deserves those cool, fashionable young people I just invented in my mind.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, Disney punks. I get what we did, of course,
Disney
Mark
punks
Hoppus,
is obviously a
famous
thing.
Disney punks.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I guess there's Disney punks and then there's punk Disney is kind of the thing.
Oh, that's interesting. So I guess Pistol is punk Disney, but Maisie Williams on the press tour is a Disney punk. Maybe
that's interesting. I think she's still punk Disney because Disney punks have like a really disgusting I think, battle vest, denim jacket. I know I keep abusing the term battle vest, but I'm pretty sure that's what they have with like punk Snow White on it. And then like
fuck yes,
enamel pins of Mickey Mouse, which more power to him, I guess. But I don't see she doesn't seem Disney punk to me. She still seems punk Disney. She seems like she's smoking a cig, mocking them from a distance.
Interesting. Well, we'll see, because I mean, this article, describes a little bit of her involvement in the show, but then describes. So let's see what we think here. So to set the stage for her new show, so as we roll out the press tour, Williams channeled Jordan's punk rock style on the red carpet and for her various appearances in the lead up to the premiere, albeit in a much more refined, glamorous way. So this is punk plus, elevated punk. Working with stylist Kate Foley and Alexandra Cronin of Studio Ampersand, Williams wanted to channel her screen character with intentional garments that showed some skin. I was inspired by the way Jordan mixes form and structure with flesh and her own body. Ooh, a little bit of Crimes of the Future creeping in here, says Williams. Growing up this industry, I feel like I was sexualized from quite a young age, and for that reason, it made me want to hide my body. But with Jordan, she fixed the male gaze in on itself. She's so confrontational the way that she reveals her body that it actually makes other people feel uncomfortable rather than herself. And that is a great, astute observation. I had nothing funny to say about that. That's great. So good for Maisie Williams. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Or like the sexualized Pistols. Maybe could be.
Wow. And you know what? I actually don't know why they ran with this photo on the top, which is just the only punk thing about it, I guess, is that it's black. Because as you scroll through this, these are like punk couture looks.
That's true. That is true. I mean, yeah, I guess obviously one of them, I don't know if they can put nips in the header image. That might be an issue for SEO or something.
Maybe that's the nips
true.
Have to go there's
down
some other
low.
Nip-free ones that are
true.
that's right. Nips down low.
Like just like where they're located on the body, on the bottom.
Exactly.
As far
bottom
as I'm
nips. Aware. Oh yeah, she's talking about some of these looks. For interviews, she wore this thing with. Those actually aren't her nipples. For interviews, she wore a Y project look, including a top with printed breasts over top it. An instant double take. Getting on a video call with a journalist, I could immediately tell they had no idea where to look. Williams says, laughing. It felt like they were seeing something that they shouldn't have. That look was wholly inspired by Jordan. So good for Maisie Williams, who, as we discussed, is a sick part of a sick show. So.
That's great.
This article wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be.
No, it's just a great plug for the Sclusy. And you know who else?
Yeah, but what about Christian Allaire? Did we check out Christian Allaire?
Yeah, I was clicking through. I mean, Christian Allaire's kind of, I think, on the sort of couture punk beat. I mean, this author has been covering all the up and coming.
Kristen Stewart, Olivia Rodrigo,
the star of the Elvis movie. I think Elvis was pretty punk, wasn't he? Like preying on.
Oh yeah, Elvis was. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Christian Allaire, is grinding. I like Christian Allaire as an author for sure because just putting
changing
in the
up
work.
the punk news vibes here.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, and I think they're Canadian. About punk. Christian Allaire is Canadian. Oh my God, a Canadian journalist that I like.
That
Christian
you admire.
Allaire. Yeah, exactly. This person's cool as hell. They've written books. The power of style, how fashion and beauty are being used to reclaim cultures. Yeah, Christian Allaire is an Ojibwe writer who grew up in the Nipissing First Nation Reserve in Ontario, Canada. Let's go. That's so tight. And I noticed that actually Christian also wrote about the Indigenous artist or filmmaker, I can't remember, a producer who was turned away from Colin for wearing moccasins on the red carpet, which was like kind of like a pretty
that was fucking
spicy
crazy
moment. Pieces of shit at cons. So shout out Christian.
Well, because they didn't think they were they weren't fancy enough, even though they are quite fancy. So another negative point for the French historically.
Yeah, and another point for our dog, Christian Allaire. I mean, absolutely welcome on the show anytime if you want to talk about punk couture. We'd love to have you.
We should get Christian Allaire on the show to talk about punk couture. I feel like Christian Allaire actually gets it.
It's true.
Christian Allaire. This is like the first time going in on a journalist has gone well.
I know, it's crazy.
This person's cool.
I guess it depends on how you define journalist, because I would like to turn my punk news segment once again over to an incredibly cool punk fashion journalist. We've got Kravis Forever back in the house for another weekly punk news Kravis update. I mean, Crystal, how are you doing? It's funny. At this point, I'm still sometimes, even though I know you, you're a friend of the show, you're a friend of mine. I still want to call you Kravis whenever you first get on the call.
It's so funny because I sometimes say like, this is Kravis Forever. And I'm like, no, I'm not Kravis Forever. My name is Crystal. And when I think about like, I was just going to order this bag the other day and it was like very Dolce & Gabbana themed. And I was like, should I get Kravis Forever on it or should I get Crystal on it? I'm like, all right, we're taking this too far.
I know. You are more than just Kravis, but
right.
maybe not. I mean, I'm not really more than this podcast at this point. So it's relatable. But okay, Crystal, the person Crystal, her own person. What's up with Kravis this week? I guess to start off with, this week on the Kardashians, I don't think Travis was on it at all. I was so disappointed.
He was not featured on it. And okay, did you just give yourself away? Have you been watching the Kardashians?
I have been because first of all, I thought, okay, I'll get Crystal to tell me all about it. But then I was like, I need to watch it. I never watched the show before. And I'm convinced that like the TV show itself is like 95% fake. Am I wrong? It just seems, I feel like even it really is making me believe that Kim dating Pete is all a setup to give the show like an arc, kind of.
You know what? I don't think it's fake. And I think that a lot of like the, them visiting each other, I think a lot of that is set up and it's very scheduled. Obviously, we know that, they talk openly about the fact that they are set to film at certain times. But I do think that like their family dynamic is very real. I do think like the struggles we saw Kim a lot this season going through struggles with Kanye. I think that's all very real. And I actually have to disagree with you. Before seeing the show, I was not a Kim and Pete fan because Pete is so anti-Hollywood. He's always been very vocal about that. He's always made fun of like the Hollywood celebrities and starlets. And now he's dating one. And so I was like, this has got to be just
hypocrite.
Fake. But their banter together seems pretty legit. I don't know if they're keep forever material, but
yeah, you definitely don't want that on your Dolce & Gabbana bag. Well, okay, that's fair. And I think the other thing is like, I just, for some reason, maybe it's from following Kravis Forever, I love Travis more than ever before. And the opportunity to just kind of basically meet the Barkers again is so fun. But that's why I was so disappointed this week. I mean, I also thought this week was crazy in that someone literally dies on death row. Spoiler alert, but like, was that this? That was the most recent one, wasn't it?
That was last week. But yeah, I mean, I remember seeing those posts on Instagram when it was happening. But yeah, to watch it, it's so gut wrenching, and like
some serious shit for like a reality show for sure.
Even tonight, we're about to see, there's a new episode that's going to be dropping soon. And we're going to be seeing Chloe getting her soul ripped out. And it's like, part of you wants to be excited because of the drama, but the other part of you is like, we're about to watch a woman break, and it's like, reality TV is so hard in the way that the way you consume it. Like we consume this as excitement because it's a juicy episode, but really like this is real life. Someone is actually suffering, know?
Right. That's true. I mean, so ultimately, there was no Travis last week. Do you think that the last thing Travis will have appeared in on this season of the Kardashians is a scene talking about eating cum? Is that what we can expect?
No, I think we're going to get some more Travis. I think that, Hulu's really smart. They know we want to see Kravis. They know that that's on the top of everyone's mind. And we're definitely going to get more of that. It might just be some making out in the corner and some awkward PDA, but we're definitely going to get to see them. We did, however, get to hear Kourtney talk about the fact that they finished their 12-day cleanse and that they are going to try natural conception instead of the IVF. So sorry, Trav. We're not going to be drinking any of that this week. But at least his sex is going to happen again. I mean, it's a win-win, I guess.
Poor guy. What about in real life? What's going on with Kravis? Like, as of this week right now.
Yeah. In real life, the two of them took a little mini vacay to Big Sur. So they had a little romantic getaway in the woods, which is really cool because it's something that they share. They both love that travel aspect. Obviously, Travis not being able to travel long distance in the past prior to Kourtney. But he seems to have really hit his stride. And the two of them, any chance they get, they're on the road, they're going somewhere. So that's been really cool to see. They also came back to celebrate Landon turning 16. Landon graduating from high school. He's 18, which is a big deal, a big mile marker. And it's nice to not only see Travis celebrating these milestones, but also seeing Kourtney interacting with the kids and posting how proud she is. So I think that their family dynamic is really starting to come together.
That's true. Actually, I'm not sure if you saw this, but, the Blink-182 Kardashian universe is really growing together. And Mark Hoppus from Blink-182, I don't know if you saw this, he posted on his Instagram,
best post ever.
His wife, Sky, was wearing like a sheer skirt where you could see her underwear under it in her butt. And he wrote like, hangs out with Kardashians once. Which, I mean, it was very funny, but also like, I feel like it's risky posting a secret photo of your wife's ass on Instagram.
I feel like Sky definitely wears the pants, so I think that there was probably permission there. But yes, so funny. Like I love, and even watching him at the wedding, he was like singing at the wedding, and everyone was clapping, and like you're seeing all these like Hollywood glam bots, like just loving Mark Hoppus. It's wonderful. Like it's so cool to see, like you said, the two worlds colliding and really just meshing together. All of his kids too. Landon and Alabama both have clothing lines coming out, which is very like Kardashian-esque type of thing. Not saying that name is what got them, but it is cool to see them kind of expressing their punk style, but in a very Kardashian way.
Yeah. Punks and normies are not so different after all, maybe, is the lesson here. Well, thank you so much for this weekly Kravis Forever update. I mean, we love hearing from you. And until next time, everyone can follow Kravis with a K, for the number ever on Instagram. Do you have Twitter as well? I can't remember.
I don't have a Twitter, but I do have a TikTok. It's the same thing.
TikTok. Oh my God. Yeah. You must be killing it on there too. This is made for TikTok. Sorry, it's so loud and you can't hear it. So whatever you just said, I'm sure was great.
It definitely was. It'll be a little bit of an Easter egg for you and the listeners. It's just a taste of how the sausage is made.
Right. I mean, I think you usually look at it, how the sausage. You don't taste it till after it's made. But I mean, we could try that too.
No, I like to taste the individual items going in how sausage is made. Speaking of things that you ingest this week, as mentioned, we're talking about Jawbreaker's Kiss, 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 Kiss. Kiss the bottle
all night.
Josiah, we debated where to put this song in the month. Mm-hmm. I almost felt like it was too early for just a monumental tune, big fan favorite, and one that I knew had some booby traps for you specifically, although the full extent to which that was true, I did not know until this morning. Now, I've got a very obvious opinion about this song.
You think it's verging on self-parody for an entire subculture of people.
Yeah, that's exactly what... Yeah, that's what I think.
Honestly, very much like the Sex Pistols for the other side of the great yin and yang of punk, for like bearded guys who've been 40 since they were 17. This is the same thing as the Sex Pistols in that as soon as it comes out, it's almost beyond parody because it's such an exaggerated parody of itself. I actually really think that this is like a ridiculous wearing a swastika on TV, but for the other side kind of level of ridiculousness.
Like just straight up sincerity. I was thinking about
this. It's not even sincerity. It's like you fed, these AI bots that everyone keeps posting. It's like you fed a whole bunch of Bukowski and PBR label designs into one of those AI bots, and it came out with these. Like the lyrics are just like Honestly, I never heard it before. Even when I was getting the covers together, I intentionally didn't listen to the original until right before we recorded it. And even the way he's singing, like, are we sure this is a real thing and not a joke that someone made to mock fest people?
So I think that is an interesting take. And I've actually been thinking about this a lot over the last week because as a spoiler, I conducted most of the guest interviews this month in advance. And so I've had an opportunity to like talk about Jawbreaker a lot in between you and I doing the first episode and now. And in particular, listening to this song and being like, oh yeah, it is like a Bukowski, story kind of set to this particular type of music and sung in this very particular way. And I knew that would be your take on it because like I'm not especially surprised. But is it not? And here's where I end up on it because I totally understand that as a perspective. But for people who haven't heard this song and just listen to this podcast, I mean, it's a song that's that Blake wrote living in the Mission District in San Francisco, and so it's sort of this like story of based around seeing these two people sitting out front of a liquor store, and so it's this sort of like very, very Bukowski-esque kind of tale of the woes of addiction and alcoholism, and then of course just the monster chorus of "I kissed the bottle, I should have been kissing you. You wake up to an empty night with tears for two." I mean, and I know that's how you fucking feel about it. I know that's how you feel about it. But and look, we're going to end up throughout this month talking about Bukowski. We're going to talk about Kerouac. We're going to talk about all these things that I don't think this sort of contemporary, maybe revulsion is too strong a word, but the like, it's not like cool to write punk songs about these things or whatever anymore. But this is where I think you can at least understand Jawbreaker as being exciting or innovative or compelling at a time where I don't think it was as fucking cringe to like Bukowski. Like we all pretend that we don't like Bukowski now or whatever because we're like, well, he was obviously a bit of a bad guy.
Right.
And it's like this weird Gen X stereotype or whatever, but there's like a time where you're like, oh, this is fucking like for me, I mean, I know we've talked about this shit, I think, right? On the show before. But, I think about being introduced to Charles Bukowski when I was in high school and having never read anything like that before. And it was this like tremendously exciting and transgressive style of writing and style of poetry. And then you realize like, oh, here's someone doing like music that I like, but with the same sort of style of both introspection and fictionalized storytelling kind of melded to this music that up until now I have not heard the Twain shan't. They didn't meet.
Yeah,
the Twain didn't meet.
I get it. But here's the thing. I bet you anything, even with all the cringe Gen X-ness of it, like even, to cite a different example for a second, people love to shit on DFW, but if you actually crack open a David Foster Wallace piece of writing of any kind, it is like undeniably good. And I bet you if you opened a Charles Bukowski book right now, it probably would like, there'd be stuff that grossed you out, but you'd still be like, okay, I get why everyone liked this. It's like recently I read a bunch of Daniel Clowes for the first time, and reading that in 2021, 2022 is very weird because it's like so sketchy and shitty, but you can still read it and be like, okay, this is like high quality, like auteurship that I can understand why this. So I guess I've just always been expecting to like pop the hood of Jawbreaker and get in here and be like, okay, this is really clever and smart, even though it's not for me. But like, I guess I'm just starting to feel like maybe the lyrics feel to me like a 13-year-old trying to be Bukowski instead of just being Bukowski, if that makes sense. Like, these lyrics are so funny to me. I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone.
The lyrics are so good. No, look
so
at. Okay, I want you to know if you're listening to this episode right now and you are just steaming up at Josiah, he doesn't know what he's talking about, so it's fine.
I just think that we should maybe read them read the lyrics. I think that these lyrics deserve.
Well, they're not necessarily meant to be read. They're meant to be sung. I just don't know that we need to go line by line. We want to talk about the beans. That's all. We just don't.
Down at the liquor store, beneath the neon sky, our moonlight. 6 a.m. The floor comes alive with lice. The pan's dried up so tight with hardened beans. We're hungry. Sorry.
Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Look at you. You got one joke, and it's the warm crackle vinyl soundtrack. Can't also giggle. You gotta deliver the lyrics straight.
I'm just there's too many actually, but I mean, when he says my fiction beats the hell out of my truth, I mean, this is I don't want to start beef with this person yet. I feel like I got to save my time, but this is what this is. It's just this fucking person's writing, and it's just
okay. That's because sure. So okay, look at Josiah's messaging me one of the many writers that you can think of who just has totally ripped this off. But this is where I think we talked about this. But this is a great episode. We've talked about this when we talked about Refused. It's not Jawbreaker are a very unique and exciting voice, right? My opinion. You don't have to agree with me. My opinion is Jawbreaker represent a unique and exciting voice, and the fact that aspects of it haven't aged well is the fault of the culture around it, because it's such an easy thing to parody and to do without talent. And sure, we can go through and read these lyrics. Yeah, I know, and not.
But then you're saying it's not just to be read as lyrics, and that's true. But then the way that it's sung just makes it even more. It's just. I feel like I'm
the way
that
it's sung is so fucking sick.
I feel like
because. Well, so it's worth noting that this is the last thing that Jawbreaker recorded before Blake had throat surgery. So he developed a polyp.
Right. Okay.
On his vocal cords from singing too sick, and so. This is, and he basically couldn't sing anymore. They tried to do shows where he didn't sing, and they had their friend sing, and it was a disaster. So he had to get there's a bunch of
Connor
stuff
O'Burst
on 24
recently,
hours,
right? Didn't he do that recently? Connor O'Burst.
He had a polyp.
Well, someone mocked his shoes, surgery. I would assume, and he left the stage early, and then the audience had to they tried to save the show by making the audience do karaoke of Bright Eyes songs.
Damn.
So I don't know.
You got to be careful around that man and his shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I get it though.
So the vocals here are someone whose voice is so shredded that they're about to undergo surgery to try to fix it. Everything with the way the guitar sounds in this.
Okay, I will say this: I do really like the guitar. I think it's I love how it's so sloppy that you almost can't even make out what they were even starting with. I don't think I could learn the riff because it's it could only be played by them. In fact, the Bukowski lovers that I loved and love is Modest Mouse, and I don't think most of that has aged very well at all. But the instrumental on this, I think, reminds me a lot of the early Modest Mouse I love, where it's just kind of a mucky mess of instruments that you can't really piece anything together or pick it out. But I think just to articulate what I'm trying to say a little bit more clearly, I thought that this band was going to be way smarter, but I feel like it's more I guess in a very literal definition of pretension, I feel like it's music that appears smart from a distance, but then it's still just I don't know, just emo songs.
No, look at it. I understand the critique, and I deeply, it's funny, Ashley and I were having dinner before we recorded, and she was like, so what's going on with the pod? And I was like, well, Josiah's having a great time just hating the fucking shit out of Jawbreaker. But again, unlike I think how Fest Month went, it's not that I think that you're wrong, because I don't know that it's, I'm not asking for you to come to this now and enjoy it the way that me or so many other of your smart, cool friends do, or our many smart, wonderful guests this month. But I think it reminds me of watching Psycho for the first time, and being young, and I think they had shown it on TVO or something, and I taped it, and my mom and I were going to watch it, and I was like, okay, well, I kind of I'm getting into scary movies and stuff, but this is apparently this is like a really big time, this freaked everyone out movie. My mom was like, no, this movie, when this came out, this was a scary movie. And I was like so ready to be so fucking scared. And then it's not scary because it's like 1994 or whatever. And I've already seen Jurassic Park. So like Psycho is not fucking scary.
Right.
Think about, I remember a couple of, this would have been pre-pandemic, but being in a hotel room with friend of the pod, Justin Taylor, for work maybe, or a band thing or something, and Blazing Saddles was on TV. We're like, oh, fuck yeah, let's watch Blazing Saddles. And had Blazing Saddles on for like 20 minutes and like didn't laugh once, because comedy also doesn't necessarily
because it's so offensive. That's why.
Because we were busy. We had our arms crossed and we were like, it's not okay.
You're having a little woke checklist.
Canceling Mel Brooks. Yeah, exactly. And so I think to look at this and understand the moment in time that it exists in, and I agree with you that I think continuing to model your artistic voice, whether that's as a writer or as a musician, around something that at this point is so fucking calcified is deeply embarrassing. And I think that
although that's the funny thing about
that weight.
The funny thing about that is there are some Jawbreaker worship bands from Western Canada that I have loved or love still. So that like the thing is I do like.
Well, because you love the sound, right?
I do.
And you don't love the voice, and you like. I'm trying to parse the things that make you the angriest here.
I'm not even angry. That's the thing. I just think it's like I guess I was.
You're angry.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm actually laughing. I'm not angry.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been through a lot today with all these Swifties. One of them just told me to kill myself right as we've been recording. So it's real. Maybe I'm just having to take my lumps right now for all the shit I've talked in my life. It's all coming together at once. But I guess what I'm trying to understand is, where is this in the timeline that you just described? What did this disrupt, and what did it lead to that I would like? You know what I mean? Like maybe just not. Maybe this is an entire path that's
this
not
could just
for
be
me.
the thing that you like. That's it. Well, because the thing, look, you know what it led to because you're the one who put together the covers for this fucking week.
It's true,
and you already know the answer to this. What I am realizing through this is I had never put Jawbreaker in the same bucket as Refused and Grade, which is they're great and it's not their fault that the stuff that came after them is. Like, some of it's good, but a lot of it's really fucking annoying. And I think that this is the same thing where people maybe took these elements that at the time were original and have made them cliche. Like on a musical level, this song sounds so much like a fucking Leatherface song to me. Like, and then I think about all the bands that ripped off Leatherface, and it just gets sort of like worse the further you go down. And so like Leatherface may also ultimately be in the same category where I think people sort of missed. I don't want to say people missed the point, but this idea that ultimately you are, copying a copy a little bit, and that's just inherently going to, like, again, from a sort of lyrical standpoint of like, this to me is like, oh wow, like all this is like straight up like, pop punk, whatever, emo that is, steeped in like a very lived in obsession with the kinds of writers that I was excited about when I was in high school or when I was in my early 20s.
You know what I think it is? I think it's that you think when you're younger, you think that there's this like unlimited cool that you can tap into if you like learn about what the older people are into, and you think, damn, like they have all this knowledge and that there's just going to be this endless well of like interesting things that are cool to me. And then you realize that they're all kind of just like into Bukowski or Kerouac or whatever it might be, like kind of just. And then you get older and you're like, oh, they're just old guys. They were just old guys like I am now. Like I'm just an old guy who only actually knows about 3 things, and that's it.
Yeah.
But you think there's this idea that like, oh, this band that I've never gone into, I'm going to finally get into them, and then I'm going to know about I'm going to have this secret knowledge, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just not there for me.
Yeah, look, I realize this is going to be now the entire month, but I think the internet has made these things so much fucking worse too, because like now when you think of someone being inspired by Bukowski, you're thinking about like people whose Twitter bios says that they're a raconteur. You know, like it conjures like the worst type of guy instead of like someone who has heard of the same, because everything's so flat. So there's like nothing interesting about being into any of those things. But there was a time where like you didn't know a lot of people that were into David Foster Wallace or whatever.
Yeah, no,
that's
so true. Like that
English program.
It almost would be nice to have no context for some of this stuff, but then, you know, if you kind of are like pro hipster a little bit, then that just means you can dig deeper and find even more interesting things that haven't been beaten to death yet. But also, I do think that there's just something aesthetically about this that I don't love. And like the other thing is all the music I love has horrible lyrics usually, or like really embarrassing. Like it's not very often that lyrics themselves, you're right, they don't stand on their own. But in this case, it's just really funny to have them almost delivered exactly how they read in a way, to have somebody like grunting them out at you. But the other thing is I think I just have always loved smooth voice rather than gruff. I think if you have gruff voice, then you need to start a band that sounds like Terror or Hatebreed, or maybe even a Scrams band is where I'll draw the line. But I feel like pop music, even if the guitars are nasty, should have smooth voice. Everyone should try to sound like the golden-throated champ from the Bouncing Souls, in my opinion.
Well, you are gonna fucking love when we get to Dear You, because it's like real smooth, rough vibes. Yeah. But look, you're definitely you're upsetting all kinds of people right now. I'm sure. This is
I'm just
truly
a guy.
I'm
just a guy. You don't even. You're the one listening out there, and please don't stop.
Yeah. This is your fault. This really is like, and you've obviously seen this from the covers that you found. This is one of the band's most popular songs. Here's a tattoo that I figured you'd love. It's a liquor bottle, the triple X on the bottle, and it says "shoulda been kissing you," and the shoulda is shoulda apostrophe. Just letting you know, like it's the tattoo itself has a vibe to it.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Here's a website of DIY culture called kissthebottle.org, which honestly looks like it's like some really insightful, interesting articles. Like this is 15 alternative things you should do in Sarajevo. Stuff about like
Airbnb being a problem in Lisbon.
Yeah, but it's like a bunch of things about like DIY culture and these activities. But here's the thing I love. These are the cities that kissthebottle.org covers: Sarajevo, Mostar, Lisbon, Philadelphia. I don't know how Philadelphia ended up in there. That's cool. That's Kiss the Bottle. And then it shows up a lot on lists like this, which I think is fucking weird a little bit, which is that there are multiple best drinking songs lists on the internet. Where I'm like, I don't know, like, to me, a drinking song is like one that's fun to drink to, like where you might, swish a pint around at the pub with the lads and lasses. But this shows up at number 25 at timeout.com's list of best drinking songs.
Okay, you got to let me say that. So sure, it talks about, this heart-wrenching tune about alcohol. I'm really sorry to steal this from you, but I feel like I need to read this turn of phrase.
You got to read the whole thing, because I know it's the second sentence that I know is going to make your eyes pop out of your fucking head. I actually can't
believe the second sentence. Like I just can't even believe it. To your
just
point,
give him the setup, because it sort of lulls you into a sense of comfort. To your point, though,
before I read this, which I can't wait to read, to your point, I think that maybe drinking songs sort of address the sadness of binge drinking a little bit in a sort of knowing wink, so as to give oneself permission to participate. It's kind of like, yeah, I know this is fucked up, wink, but it's kind of like when you order on Amazon and you're like, yeah, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but
but it's just like this some of the other songs on this list are shots,
right.
What else is on here?
Tipsy by Jake Wan.
Tub thumping. I don't know if that's actually really.
Isn't tub thumping about like being an anarchist punker? Okay, here's what
probably.
Oh, and this caption I think is written by like a P-Fork guy. Isn't this guy from P-Fork? Yeah, Brent.
Oh, is this a P-Forker?
It's a P-Forker, Brent DeCrescenzo. Brent DiCascenzo.
Hey.
Kiss the Ball by
You
Jawbreaker.
can say that.
With this, punk's most heart-wrenching tune about alcohol, the Bay Area trio made living under a bridge and eating dumpster burritos seem utterly romantic in 1992. Now, this is the turn of phrase that I just can't actually... I feel like my life's going to change after I read this. Hyperliterate squatter bard Blake Schwarzenbach's vocals rasp and scratch like a man intimately acquainted with liquor and smokes. Just going to get one more in case that wasn't clean. Hyperliterate squatter bard Blake Schwarzenbach's vocals rasp and scratch like a man intimately acquainted with liquor and smokes. So that's hyperliterate as one word, and then squatter -bard. Squatter bard.
Now listen, it's not Blake Schwarzenbach's fault that someone, Brendan DiCascenzo described him as a hyperliterate squatter bard. That's not his fault.
I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like you could rearrange the letters Blake Schwarzenbach and get hyperliterate squatter bard. I think it's in there. I'm not joking.
You could definitely boggle it for sure.
It's close. It's not his fault that he wrote that, but he is that. And that's just, I don't think I want to listen to a hyperliterate squatter bard unless it's for my podcast. And we're on this journey together. You all agreed to do this with us. So, you know what? I'm sorry. I got to live my truth, as my friend Normie once said.
I'm going to change this to, I'm going to make my Twitter bio hyperliterate squatter bard. Hyperliterate squatter bard. Period. Intimately acquainted with liquor and smokes. Period. Raconteur. Bon vivant.
Yeah, those are all perfect. And it's on this Phoenix New Times list you sent as well, which they both have Brass Monkey thing on them by the Beastie Boys. I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Pints of Guinness make you stronger. I mean,
they both have Flogging Molly, Drunken Lullabies on them. I mean, if your lifestyle choices have led you to something where you're enjoying the song Drunken Lullabies by Flogging Molly, like that's I feel like that should be a sign for you. Like do you find yourself feeling anxiety when other people aren't finishing their drinks? Do you think about drinking in the morning? Do you enjoy Flogging Molly's song Drunken Lullabies? These should all be, I think, signs. Personally, I think it could be a...
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, again, I'm just like Swimming Pools by Kendrick. Like, these are just, I guess this is just the 10 best songs about drinking, which I think is different than drinking songs.
Oh, true. That's true.
That's the order of those words changes the meaning quite a bit,
I guess, yeah, that's true that this song doesn't really say, like, I'm so happy that I kissed the bottle, because it's more saying I wish I was kissing you. And now you have tears for two. And then it says, cigarettes, they filled the gaps in our empty days. In our broken teeth, we're jonesing, is what he says here. Which I think jonesing even is a turn of phrase I don't love, to be honest. But
jonesing's bad. I agree with you, for sure. I'll give you jonesing.
I do feel like, drinking songs, if there's a song about how drinking is sad, I feel like that kind of... It makes it a good drinking song too, in a way. Low key. I don't know. Interesting. I mean, what songs? You remember the Exclaim questionnaire that they used to do? That they never updated it since 1970 or whatever. So it was the questions. Did you ever have to do one? Some of them were kind of outdated. Did you ever have to do one?
I did. I'm pretty sure, because I was thinking about this recently. Propaganda played 2 shows in Toronto. I went to both of them. It was fucking sick. And I was trying to remember, because there was like a brief sort of schism between Exclaim and Propaganda, where they refused to do interviews for Exclaim. And I think it was related to the questionnaire. Is my memory of it.
Surprise.
And it was like, I was really mad because I was like, I don't know, like, I just want to, the only reason that I work for Exclaim is so I can interview Propaganda. This is really fucking up my shit.
I just always felt like I had to apologize. Like, I only did it like maybe twice. One of them
I did it with Greg Graffin from Bad Religion.
Wow. I did it with the guy from Hamilton, who's also like a art rapper. I can't think of his name.
B.A. Johnston?
No. Like Hamilton, the musical. Like Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like the show.
No,
Hamilton.
I knew you meant Hamilton the musical, but then when you said he was an art rapper, I was like, oh, Daveed Diggs?
Yeah, him. And so already I had like no dog.
I
in the
assumed you
fight.
meant Lin-Manuel.
I would
and
have
then I was
loved
like,
to.
wait, art rapper? I was like, I guess he means BA. So for people who are not familiar with the questionnaire in Exclaim Magazine, I don't know how you've missed it. It is 20, 30 questions that are identical and they've
They're
been
all
published in the
pre-written.
magazine.
We did
Yeah.
change some of them like right before I left. Like
Yes, because it was some of them were like, again, this was, you know, and they would get like sometimes like, you know, it was basically where like they put the most famous person was just,
and then you have to read
know,
something that someone wrote in like 1994 that's like, what makes you want to take it off and
Take it
or
off
get
and
it
get
on?
it on.
It said and or.
Yeah.
And I remember like reading that out loud.
No. It is what makes you want to take it off and get it on was one question, and then the or was what would make you kick someone out of your band and or bed and have you. Like they were all written with this like lightly horny touch that was like,
it's like so nasty.
Nasty.
I just remember like talking to Daveed Diggs and be like, look, man, I'm sorry I'm about to ask you this. It's written on the page. I gotta do this. I'm like in my early 30s, like been doing this for my whole life, and I'm still just like, what makes your dick hard with your bandmate? What makes you want to, touch yourself in front of someone? I don't know. It's like so fucked up. But anyways,
they were fucked. It was very like zine, like very 90s zine.
it was like
just,
alt weekly kind of like. I feel like alt weeklies. If we could go back now and read them, we'd be like, okay, never mind. These were fucking horrible. Like,
totally.
Anyways,
Totally.
Because I was gonna ask you, what song makes you want to kiss the bottle or get like when you hear this song, you're like, oh, I want to pound some brews right now.
Oh fuck, that's actually a good question. Hold on. I want to come up with I want to be honest about that. Mm-hmm. Where I'm like, you know, because there are things that come on and you're like, why? Like that thing where I just start shaking and I want to party. I mean, I guess Andrew WK
Fiddler or something.
No,
the chat.
Like, but if let me see. You know, any Meatloaf probably.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like so Bat Out of Hell, I just want to like. Yeah, exactly. Because it just makes you want to act. You know. What about you? I mean, like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like
in a previous life, or what makes you what makes you cling to sobriety?
Right. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of shit with that, like listening to this song, "Kiss the Bottle."
Yeah.
I think I used to love listening to the first two Mean Jeans LPs, and that's just like absolute party music for sure. Beelines, I mean, that was definitely some nasty beer music. But that's all I can really think of.
Straight up, if I'm being really honest about, okay, so like jokes aside and things where I'm like, I feel like a Pavlovian response of like, I want to be crushing like 2 beers into my forehead is honestly the Hold Steady. That's
wow.
I mean, I know how that makes you feel.
Very happy. All is well.
Yeah.
But I thought I thought that they were like smart music. Maybe
they're smart drinking music.
When we do like the whole July or whenever it fits in, I can't wait to learn about that one. Because I would love to get under the hood of one of these.
Comes on or something, I just want to be like, you know, just
Japan droids. When you hear Japan,
I just want to be fully Japan droided at that point. Yeah,
Japan droids be like, I was hanging out on Granville Street. I don't know. I never heard any of their songs, but I think it's like
so
that.
good. It's basically like
so.
That.
You gonna show me any live videos, or I mean, have you just
given
let's
up?
Watch.
So
I'm
not just giving up. No, but I think I've offered it a spirited defense of this song that at the same time respects how you feel about it.
That's true, but I also I do kind of think you a little bit projected in my feelings because I mean I was mostly laughing. I think I'm not mad.
Oh, you were laughing. Were you?
Not
you were
mad.
Mostly laughing.
I'm not mad.
No? Well, let's watch Jawbreaker play this song in 1992 at McGregor's
Elm with an H at the end.
Again, yeah. So this is from in Elmhurst, I think.
Oh, maybe it's
they're
cut
just
off.
sort of cutting things off. So this is Elmhurst, Illinois. Pretty sick. Initially, I thought Blake was wearing like a hat that you'd hate, but it's actually like a cool backwards hat.
Oh, yeah. No, he looks cool. And I like this part when it's just like...
Oh, it's so fucking good. The song's fucking awesome. This is a really quiet video because I mean it's like ripped from like I don't even know what media, like someone's dream of this show.
Yes.
This is what's so interesting about this is like no one's really reacting because again this song is not on an album. I mean it eventually was on Etc., which was like a sort of B-sides and rarities compilation, but this is from a compilation that in and of itself was like not really much of a thing. It was like a bunch of, it was like 17 songs from the Mission District or whatever.
The thing is too.
Every part of the song is so good. Every part of the song is like so melodically
I can
good.
hear why you like it, but I can't even figure out. I can't figure out what's the chorus.
It's Kiss the Bottle, but it's basically like the song goes like A, B, C, B, and D, and like D is the chorus. Like structurally it makes no fucking sense. There's a lot of parts. Let's just at least get to that chorus though, and then I'll play you another one from '93.
I honestly do think I like it live better. I feel like the vocals are mixed so high on the recording. It's not enough of the...
Yeah, and you can hear him fighting for life.
You can hear the lyrics too well, I feel like.
Yeah, whereas this is just vibe-based.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yes, yours.
Okay,
I like how they go
let's watch
halftime
it.
too at that point.
It's so good. This is Vino's Little Rock, Arkansas. That's actually fairly appropriate. No spoilers for our guest this week.
Are they a little rocker?
They are, yeah. Our guest is the littlest rocker.
You know, I feel like
interesting.
people like to mock me ruthlessly for my pronunciation. But I did only figure out that when people were saying Arkansas, they were talking about what I thought was a different place called Arkansas. Like, I would say 2 years ago, probably.
No.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea.
You thought Arkansas was Arkansas
Yeah,
until
I thought it was a different place.
During the pandemic?
I feel like it was when I watched when I hate watched the Hillary Clinton doc on Hulu. I was like, oh shit, that's what that is.
Oh my god, that's funny. Look at this is important.
Well, they're playing at a place called Vino's. That's fitting because this is about boozing.
Also, you know, Brent DiCenzo would love it. Let's just get to the chorus.
Wait, I already forget what it's called. Did you change your bio to it? Because I already forget.
No, I did not change my bio.
Bard,
actually.
Hound, Booze Hound.
Yeah.
Bard,
Oh, fucking.
the Bard of Booze Houndry.
Hyperliterate squatter bard. Yeah, hyperliterate squatter bard.
So good.
Hey, this is just like a sick, so many VHS lines, and
beautiful.
it's funny because like once again, and we could do this every week, so I'm going to avoid it. But like the idea that you're watching this be performed for like bopping, but in different audience, and that now this is one of the songs. Like if you look at live reviews or whatever of their shows, like this is the song that goes off like more than anything. And I think that's partially because
I'm starting to like it, to be honest.
I fucking know you are, man.
But don't worry, I don't think that'll last long.
Yeah, I know that. But it's sort of, I think the fact that it's sort of like, in addition to sort of being this, particularly great song of theirs, has been such a like entrenched part of the culture that has followed in their wake through all these different artists covering it. And that sort of helps add to its, stock. Anyway, this song fucking rules, and I can't wait to listen to a bunch of songs by bands that I like and that you love.
Well,
to really put it in context.
I mean, real quick before we do that, I just was searching Kiss the Bottle cover, and I don't usually do this, but it's been a long time, and I just thought that this one was interesting that popped up. This is called DIY Kiss Full Cover Toenails. OMG, my toenail fell off on vacation. And so this is called Welcome to My Toe Show. And this is somebody's
tickets
for
to my
subscribing.
toe show.
Hit that notification bell.
this is Denise John 65 wants you to hit
Hi,
that.
everyone.
Oh, no. Why would you do that
Welcome
to me, man?
This is a quick video
Oh, fuck.
to
No
show
one can-
you
oh, fuck.
how I
Oh.
fixed
I just wanted
my
to see what-
toenails
it
while
popped
I
up.
was
It was
on
mixed in with all
vacation.
the covers.
Most of you know that I don't have any toenails on my large
Oh.
toes for various reasons. I had a lot of ingrown toenails and painful.
So just
and
so
then
people know, I
hurt
don't want to
them,
fucking
and I
look at
decided,
it.
you
It's
know,
it's
to
just like a
take them
photo
off,
of this
and that's all you need
fucking
to know about
gnarled
that.
ass foot,
So I
and
have
the
a whole
big toenail
playlist
is falling off. It's just like a gaping
me
fucking wound.
my toenails. The link to that will be up.
But why did
in
she
the
say it
right-hand
fell off on
corner.
vacation
Follow
if
the
she just
arrow
said she's
if
never
you'd
had
like
one?
to see that.
The arrows
And
in
whenever
other
I go on
videos.
vacation,
I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
always
I'm not
take
fucking looking, man.
Spare toenails. Just the ones that you glue on with glue. And I did have some in my makeup case
A
kit.
missing toenail.
But I was in Kmart.
I wouldn't know.
around
I wouldn't
when
know,
was on
man. I'm
vacation
experiencing
in
this
Key
the way
West.
everyone is
That's
experiencing
so
listening to
rude.
it.
That is so
I'm not
rude.
looking.
I
Nail
listened
tips
to your
here.
song,
and
and
they
you're
were
not
only
going to
like
do my part of the
$5.
show.
Okay, well, I'm looking at it
There's
now,
so
and
many
it's just like a photo
sizes
of
the
a
tips
foot
here
product,
and a
so
little
that's fine.
file, and
that-
also
this looks
some
cool,
glue.
too,
So I thought I'm gonna buy
honestly, from
these,
Kmart.
and I'm gonna put these on and
This is a
try to
good
film
channel.
it
She's not
for
even-
you all.
she's just
now I'm
chatting.
using my phone, and
That's so
it's not perfect because I'm in the
Cronenbergian
bathroom
to have
at
like
the
a little
hotel.
fishing tackle
Not
box of
ideal
fake
lighting
toes.
conditions or
Fake
anything.
toenails.
Big toes.
But like I said,
Yeah,
I
for
did
sure.
pay about
This
$5
is basically
kit,
Crimes of the Future.
and I also bought some
David Cronenberg is
cheap
low key
dollar
lynching.
nail polish that was natural to go with it.
It's low key nasty.
So let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you.
You know, I was reading.
And
No,
here I am in
now the foot's
bathroom at
back.
the hotel,
Fucking
and as you
shit.
can see, my nail bed has another bruise on it, which is a blood blister.
I was
from
reading-
bumping it.
Oh,
I jet skied
Why is
in
it
my
so much?
toenails, and they didn't.
Okay, I'm fucking.
last through
I'm
that.
nowhere near the
So I
mic
was
because I'm
just
just
sizing
like.
up the nail tip.
Her fingernail is really.
Now you can see I have the glue out, and I'm ready.
She
to
sized it
use
up. Now she's about to glue it on
And
to her.
I did
nail-
glue it on,
nail
which I didn't
nub.
show you that process. I don't know why I forgot
So,
that.
I
And then
was reading
just
an
nip off that
interview
little
with
tip,
the
and
guy who
I just
wrote
file it. This
Jason
is when
X,
you really
where he
need to
goes to
fix your
space.
toenail quick.
And
those of you who don't have,
he talked about how
toenails on your
Cronenberg
large
rewrote
toes
all of
know
his
exactly
lines
what
in that
I'm talking
movie,
about
and it's like a great
how
Cronenberg
I feel.
performance.
So I have to have this.
Oh
fixed.
yeah, so good.
And so,
have
like
to
the
have
line, there's like a
this
line that he
because
delivers
I'm
that
gonna
it
be
does feel
gone
very Cronenberg, where he's
for 2
like,
more
you
weeks in
know,
this
I want
video,
him,
so
I
I
want
have
them,
to
I want his meat
make sure
fresh
my
or whatever. Like it's literally like someone doing an impression of David
I'll show
Cronenberg,
you
and
the
it is so
polish that I
sick.
bought at Kmart too.
I don't know why
It's
this video's
just a
like in
neutral
slow
cushions,
motion,
or
but
actually
she's
stayed
painting it.
on
Oh, it looks
for
real
a
now.
3-week
She fixed
kit.
it.
That glue.
Oh,
Nice.
You
good.
know, my
Because
neck.
that's what it looked. This is what it looked like
Most of
before.
you
if
know.
you-
Oh, son, no, fuck.
And then real quick, there was just a few other songs also called "Kiss
Why
the
is this
Bottle."
frozen? Can you just like move it to a different
Thought that
fucking
we could just
part of the video or
check out
something?
some
Oh.
different songs called "Kiss the Bottle" if you'll have me. Still,
I don't know. I'm very.
But-
You're moving around.
So this is this is called "Kiss the Bottle" by the Prairie Cats, and I wasn't sure if it'd be a cover or not, but it's. I don't think it is. I think it's just.
Jesus Christ.
It is weird that swing hasn't come back though, for real.
Yeah, it's like our society has a limit. You know, it's like
Maybe it's because you can't really be pretentious about it. You can't be like, well, actually, swing was
interesting.
protest music. I mean, it probably was protesting like freaking prohibition and curfew and when they banned dice games or whatever. I don't know. Well, here we go. That's the night I
Kiss the bottle. Wouldn't be the last time I kiss that bottle tonight.
So that's. I guess that's not a cover, right? Probably not.
I don't. It doesn't. I don't recognize any of the elements particularly.
This one is "Kiss the Bottle." Probably also not a interesting synths on it though. This is by Jesse Nashi. "Kiss the Bottle."
I'm still so mad about that foot.
Oh, here we go.
I think I'm also feeling very. I've been very squeamish for the last 2 days. Like I think I'm just like, you know. Like I'm tired and raw, you know? Like that fucking toe. I was not. So fucking loud.
Okay, I won't. I was tempted to click it again. I'm Xing it out of the watch together. Just for
I knew
you.
you. No, you know what
gone.
though? I knew you were gonna do it. No, but now you're lulling me into a sense of security.
I won't do it. I promise. Oh, this one's kind of boring, but this one I thought was interesting because this one is like a SoundCloud.
Okay.
This is Little Austin, but with an little Axton, AXSTIN. But check out, he references pop.
It feels like a problem just to ease my mind. Girl, don't play with my emotions, cause it ain't the time. I'ma kiss the bottle, get drunk all night long. Got these demons in my head playing punk rock songs.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yo,
kiss the bottle
trying
all
out,
night
trying out
long.
for the MGK songwriting camp.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've heard it, but he also has one.
Kiss the bottle all night.
I won't play it, though. You don't need to play that right now.
Okay. Yeah, I believe you.
You know, it's the middle of the show, basically. Hard to believe. Most people are wrapping up around the 1 hour mark, but not us, baby. We don't give a fuck.
Nope. Tireless.
But if you want to be even more tireless, patreon.com/155pod. You know,
That'll tire you out.
That'll really, and
That'll teach you.
We'll empty you. We'll drain you dry. It's all about jacking off the listener with episodes. I think is my new.
That's right.
I'm running out of
content
ways
explosion.
to pitch this. To pitch a tent.
Yeah, it's getting really complicated.
And yet it's so simple. And I think you're going to be doing a very special exclusive about something that we have forgotten to mention during Junebreaker.
Yeah. There's no reason to mention it because we will be covering it in the exclusive. But I will be doing penance while also informing the listener. So look forward to the apology exclusive that will also provide you with all kinds of entertainment.
I can't wait.
There's some good stuff coming up this month.
I've never done anything I need to apologize for on this show, so don't look forward to that. But you know what? I'm going to keep doing my job wonderfully with these covers I've prepared. Now, Sam, I think maybe the reason you have been so aggressive to me this week, and I think we've all noticed it, you've been kind of freaking out at me, is because you knew the collection of covers kind of opens. I think you were just worried that I was going to love the song too much because all of my favorite bands have covered it.
It's true. It's true. I was like, dude, like every context clue here is telling you that you fucking love this song.
I almost
like you were about to run us through like this reads like, the Josiah Hughes mixtape.
All my favorite bands are about to run a train on me, quite literally, with this shit. But I think honestly, it would be better. Usually I would give it away one at a time. I think it's almost better to just appreciate the list of artists right now that we're going to listen to cover this song.
It's true.
So we've got
just do it.
The Foo Fighters, Rise Against, Brendan Kelly of the Lawrence Arms, Sparta, and Chris Rowe from the Ataris. I mean, that's just like murderer's row of people who.
Could you pick like before we start?
Me.
Could you pick a favorite out of all of these? These bands, like, who are you the most excited to hear? Are you most excited to hear Brendan Kelly, or is it Chris Rowe?
You know, when I'm picking faves, it's got to be Sparta for making me not like At the Drive-In anymore, and Brendan Kelly for his posts. You know, Brendan Kelly makes me think of the landscaper thing or whatever, the 50 Shades of
Landscape. Brendan Kelly who ruined the
landscaper thing.
Of landscaping, yeah.
Chris Rowe, I don't actually have much an opinion about the Ataris, but I think I've been respectfully avoiding them.
They rock. I can't wait to do a tar July.
Tar May.
A tar me. See there, that's why you get paid the big bucks.
And Rise Against obviously kind of the thinking man's Bad Religion, and they're already thinking man's. So imagine the thinking man's thinking man. That's kind of how I think of Rise Against. But then I would think probably in terms of all around epicness, I think I got to go with my boys, the Foos, who covered it here.
Here's the thing about this cover. Because I've listened to this.
You have?
It's fucking great.
It sounds really great.
It's awesome.
They've cleaned it up pretty nicely. It actually almost sounds like a Blink riff now.
Oh yeah.
It gets lonely
Whoa. Wait, who's singing though?
It's Chris singing. Noted punk.
I don't think I even know who Chris is from Foo
Chris
Fighters.
Shiflett. He's in No Use for a Name.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, this just sounds like Gob, actually.
Yeah, it does.
This sounds exactly like The World According to Gob.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah, this is fucking sick. Okay, well, maybe I am going to love this. Okay, let's move on to Rise Against. Acoustic for Sirius XM. I'm going to be honest, he's kind of struggling to play this. He's kind of drippy, though. He's got some nice layers on.
This is like a specifically. Is the frame rate too high on this or something? Like, why does it look like this?
Yeah, I think so.
Like it looks like you know, when like a TV with motion smoothing on.
Moonlight, 6 a.m.
Like Tom Cruise would hate this.
He reminds me so much
Pants dried up
of a
so
very specific
tight.
youth pastor I've known in my
Heart
life
and being
that not a single person listening would know who it is. So I can't even. There's no point of really trying to explain. But he reminds me so much of one youth pastor that I knew.
You should say his name. Type his name to me just to get it out.
His name is Peter.
Can't take the weight of
Oh, Peter the youth pastor.
much less.
I'll be honest with you.
Not Pete though.
This is
Not
great.
like
This
a
song
fun
is good,
one.
man. Oh, the cans just fell off.
I hate this one. I don't like the cover at
It was
all.
great. The song's great.
See how Brendan Kelly does with it. Oh, look at this. Booze Hound CDR.
It gets loneliest at night, down at the liquor store.
Yeah, it's good.
I think every drinking song,
6 a.m.
pro drinking song, is a bit sad about it.
Hands dried up so tight.
Also, okay, I've noticed with a lot of these covers as I was clicking around, people like to sort of get jazzy with the word placement all over it.
Ooh.
And he's kind of doing it here, kind of rambling. He's a rambling man.
Just to see.
But to be honest, this is like before. Like, as I look at, I do really like
Can't take the weight of one.
and we've talked about this.
Much less two.
Yeah, I think you maybe chose the worst example to get me into them. And I think you
I
did it
wasn't
on
trying
purpose.
to get you in. That's not the this podcast isn't for us to try to get into things. It's to understand them.
And why they're all bad.
But this is before Brendan Kelly just started being like, well, I'm a little weirdo in Twitter.com, like fucking vibes. Like, this sounds sick.
It sounds okay. It kind of has like some Great Big Sea vibes to me a little bit.
Sure, but Great Big Sea rocks ass.
So I don't think I've ever even heard Sparta, to be honest. I just remember like loving At the Drive-In and then probably reading about Sparta on buddyhead.com, deciding I didn't like them. But now Buddyhead's making like struggle memes about vinyls and stuff. So there's no
Cut Your Ribbon by
no
Sparta.
happy
That's a great
ending.
tune.
There's no happy
That's
ending
a
for
big-
any of that.
Well, unless you're subscribing to our Patreon.
That's true. Wow, they made it sound very Christian. Whoa, what is this?
Sort of sounds like all the GarageBand demos that I made when I first got a Mac.
It sounds like someone who likes Granddaddy too much. I don't think anyone should like Granddaddy as much as some people do, and then they make music that sounds like this. Whoa, still got the... Oh my god! Is this a joke? Honestly, is this a joke, maybe?
I don't know. What is this?
Well,
What is this
whoever uploaded
from?
this said it's apparently been 86 from the Worldy Pipes. So I'm your... Is this how people talk? Who like this kind of stuff? It's
The World E-Pipes?
It's apparently been 86th from the Worldy Pipes, so I'm your Batman with this awesome cover by Sparta of a great song by Jawbreaker. Sparta's cover. Oh, this is from the Jawbreaker tribute album that I had to download off of Solar Sea. So no,
This really does, like, all of these effects sound like the, like, GarageBand version 1 effects. Like, no joke. Like, I swear to God, this was... What,
2003 is when this comp came out. So
when did GarageBand come out?
probably in the 1960s, I'd say. The Sonics, kind of the...
GarageBand came out in 2004. When did you say this was released?
2003, so this is proto-GarageBand.
Proto-GarageBand.
I want to know if they belt it out again or they just do it that one time.
We gotta stop listening to this. This one is...
That's rough as hell.
That was not... But look at the band knows it, so that's fine. I mean, you know.
I don't know. I think the label came after because that whole comp is gone. That's why I had to download Face to Face last week. So here's Chris Rowe. He also has Youth Pastor vibes, and does he hold his guitar upside down? Is that his thing?
Yeah, he plays his guitar. Yeah, upside down.
That's so annoying. What an irritating.
No, because I think because he's left-handed, but he's playing a right-handed guitar upside down.
I know, but that's annoying to me. I'm sorry. That's just...
Great.
This one sounds okay. Kind of reminds me of this band Ida that I used to love. They could get away with singing some corny ass lyrics.
So I lean on you sometimes just to see.
Now, did Chris Rowe straighten his hair always? Was he one of the first flat iron guys, or does he just have that kind of hair naturally?
I think he's had a lot of different hair. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. That hair's definitely straight.
It's impressive. He definitely.
Yeah,
I mean, he must have so many nautical tattoos. Hey, I mean, that's like he's like the king.
Oh yeah, the Chris Rowe is a living nautical star tattoo. God bless him again. When I do this, the Atari's episode, everyone's gonna fucking love it.
I know. I can't wait. I love getting into bands because of you. So now we're out of the recognizable stuff, but this is something called the Van Saders. Kiss the Bottle. I think this is like a. I know we're gonna end with our guest cover, which is like a sort of more country leaning, but a lot of people have gone
the definitive cover of the song for sure.
This one is kind of a nice.
Yeah.
It seems like it would play in an indie game, actually, where you're like on a road trip, coming to terms with your depression. Whoa, the vocals are.
At the liquor store, beneath the neon sky, the moonlight, 6 a.m. The floor crawls alive with lice.
I feel like there's just too many syllables sometimes in this song at certain parts.
You know, I also feel like, again, there is a kind of definitive alt-country version of this. It's very famous.
And so it's not for you the Van Saders from...
And that is the Van Saders. That's what I'm talking about. We're listening to it right now.
Where do you think this band is from, watching this? I just assumed that it was like German for some reason the whole time. From New Jersey.
Oh.
So that's interesting. Okay, let's keep going then. This one's from SoundCloud. This is called Acoustic Lovin' is the name of this.
Acoustic Lovin'. Yes.
I definitely like the intro a lot.
Yeah, the intro is fucking great.
I don't know if
It gets loneliest tonight.
Oh yeah, Acoustic
Down
Lovin'.
at the liquor store, beneath the neon sky.
I'm starting to love it. By the end of this episode, I'm gonna love it and love the silliest, raspiest voices. Someone's doing some stanky soloing in the background too. kind of, there's something about some of the vocal lines that it seems like it could be also a TV theme song. So I lean on you.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah. Very sitcom appropriate.
Yeah.
For sure.
So this is a troupe named Streets with 2 3s.
Already, it's my favorite.
Lots of acousties this week.
Yeah, that's really this is deeply acoustic.
It's only yesterday. Down at the liquor store.
This person is doing an impression of our guest.
Yeah, I think some of them do actually say that it's a cover of our guest / Jawbreaker.
Well, we talked about it with the guest. I heard this song performed by our guest before I heard the original.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, I liked hearing it because I'm like, oh, that sounds unhinged. But then I look at him and he's like a troop with an assault rifle. And I don't want him to be.
He should be hinged.
He needs to stay.
Please hinge this man.
Hinge yourself. Hinge thyself. Another acoustie. I think there's a lot of acousties. I'm sorry, but this guy's name is.
I realized
on here is Neil Chair, which I thought was a cool name. Neil Chair here.
He's on a chair. Do you think that's the titular chair?
I was wondering about that, and he's got some pop punk stickers.
He's got a Blink-182 poster. Is that? Yeah, he's got a Blink poster up on the wall.
I don't want to be mean.
One of those looks like a photo of himself.
I don't want to be mean, so I'm not going to say who, but from some angles, he almost looks like a former spokesman of a fast food submarine sandwich company to me.
Oh, you're right. He does look like Danny Quiznos.
I think he's doing it.
What is that? This
really
voice coming out of this.
It's
a bit much, guy. Yeah, guy, I do not believe this voice coming out of you.
You were saying that it was Chris from the Foo Fighters earlier. This guy's voice reminds me of when you're just chilling, listening to an Oasis B-sides album, and then one of the other guys sings a song, and you're like, ooh. No, thank you.
Damn, wow. Stick to bass.
He's got Transplants on guitar, Millencolin, maybe a bank or something. I don't know. What's at the top of his body there? Love you, Neil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Neil Chair.
Definitely a bank.
Up next is Kiss the Bottle. This says Jawbreaker cover. I don't know if that's a mistake or not. This is Punk Drunk Circus is the name of the... I think it's just a typo, probably. K and M are pretty close to each other on the keyboard. Punk Drunk Circus. He's got a photo of a boy playing drums on the wall. Maybe it's his kid. Above a mostly empty fish tank. Very interesting area to be.
Half-empty fish tank. Maybe there's a turtle in it or something?
Well, it gets loneliest at night.
Oh, interesting.
Down by the liquor store.
I feel like he's picked a different key to play
the neon sky.
Yeah.
A moonlight, 6 a.m. The floor comes alive with lights. Pants right up
when people do
tight.
this, and at first I'm always like, oh, I wish someone would have told you, helped you figure it out.
Yeah.
But then occasionally they actually, here, they occasionally hit it, and then it actually makes the wrong key sound just vibey and cool.
You're still there, these feet can't.
It sounds like a deep Counting Crows cut or something.
Much less to
yeah, true.
With concrete.
I don't know. I like it. I like the fish tank man. He's killing it. This next one, I just mostly thought the name was really funny. It's called German in Drublink. I think they were trying to reference punk in Drublic, but they've changed it to in Drublink with an N. And also, it's instead of punk in Drublic, it's German. So this is called German in Drublink. This is from the album. What's this called? German in Drublink, and then in parentheses, Flight Fancy Flask. And it's from the album Serendipity Acoustic Volume 1, Among Rusted Wheels, 1,000 Shots, and Out of Tune Lovers.
Wow.
I love this one.
We're hungry, we're hungry. So I
sometimes.
Just what can I say? A German guy singing a sad song like that, it just hits sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it's too real. Jesus. I don't know. There's nothing to say about that.
German Indra Blink. That, as we all know, what to say. Now, this one's called Condition Oakland. And I don't know if there's another band somewhere else called Condition, or if they're saying, like, being from Oakland is a condition that you can have.
It's a Jawbreaker song.
Oh, well, there you go. See, I didn't know. Mm-hmm. That would probably explain why. Oh, that's not even coffee, though. That's tea.
Not very punk. Yeah, there's like a bunch of bands named after Jawbreaker songs.
Is there? There must be a band called Kiss the Bottle.
I'm fucking sure there is. Nightmares for a Week is like a fairly popular band named after a Jawbreaker lyric. I always thought that was quite embarrassing.
Loneliest tonight.
Oh, here we go.
Down at the liquor store. Beneath the neon sky. A moonlight, 6 a.m. Floor comes alive with lights.
I like when he does kind of real sing talking.
So tight.
It's like very like guy playing in the kitchen after the show, but make it music theater.
I was gonna ask though, have you ever tried to do like a real gruff singing voice like this? 'Cause I feel like
no, but like I lose my voice.
Sweet voice, very like.
But I lose my voice really easily, and so I have like sometimes when I'll lose my voice, I'll record stuff because I think it sounds cool. But I've never like I can't as an affectation, with the exception being like doing karaoke and like getting incredibly stanky.
Yeah.
Like I can do a version of like Fat Bottom Girls that just fucking stinks. You know? What about you? Have you ever you didn't even listen to bands that sound like this, so you're not doing that.
No, but I think I did kind of like in Grown Ups. I was like trying to make it. I like badly wanted it to be more hardcore, even though it was just like pop punk. So I was accidentally in a similar zone, kind of pushing my voice, but I don't even know what I was going for, really. I don't think anyone did. But you mentioned the kitchen vibe. Well, this one, I think, this is called Mortars. This is at Miller's Pub. This is like the kitchen vibe outside
of Miller's Pub, yeah.
It has the same feeling. There's like some rescue dogs. He's hitting a washboard, one of the guys, and the other guy is. Do lice really? Aren't lice mostly in hair? Oh my god.
This is so fucking great. Where do lice live? In a room.
I thought they just were mostly in hair.
Yeah, it looks like found almost exclusively at bedding, towels, hats.
Like why are they on the floor?
But they reside on the scalp. They can't survive off the human head for longer than 24 hours. You ever have lice?
No. But I recently saw like a zoomed in close up of a lice on hair. It looks so cool. Did you see that? It's like just the other day. It looked like a muscle man, kind of. Really cool.
Close up lice.
Yeah. Oh, really? There's a lot of body horror this week. I think it was in like probably like an Indian meme group that I'm in, and I probably saw it at 7 in the morning, so I don't think I'll be able to find it again. But
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that was horrifying.
This Mortars one, you weren't into that? Because I feel like this is kind of the truest, this is the song living its truth in a way.
It's just once you get into the washboard thing, then you've lost me.
Well, how about a ukulele then? How about a good old fashioned and a DFW?
Yes. Is this DFW himself?
Are there any people who think he's still alive? Kind of doing like Magnetic Fields vibes too, and I think he's wearing a metal shirt of some kind. This is sick. I think if you're gonna do a uke cover, it should be like this, where it's like, my humble fuck up of a boyfriend couldn't offer me much on this vacation, but he did learn how to play my favorite song on ukulele, and he's gonna propose to me with like a bread tie, and I'm gonna say
right.
yes.
You're like,
it's like,
I know he's a fuck up, but I love him.
yes, that's ukulele should have lovable fuck up vibes, not.
Yeah, this guy's got a heart of gold, and you know what? I think things are going to turn around for him, right? It's going to be one of those things where like he's going to be like 40, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, he's going to get a boss that believes in him, like at the brewery or whatever, and he's going to like, and they're gonna pay for him to like take some classes that he needs to like shore up like a few things, and then he's going to make the leap from like, you know, just like a straight indie to like sort of a big indie, maybe like manage a couple of different breweries around the city. You know, he's going to struggle a little bit because the heavy exposure to alcohol is
the old lady that
going to lead to him like sort of his lapsing back into bad habits. Eventually, he's going to get clean.
the old lady
It's
landlord.
going to be just an inspiring story.
The old lady landlord that was patient when he couldn't make his rent. He's gonna take her on a vacation, maybe some sort of real depressing, all-inclusive somewhere. But it's gonna be great to them, and they're gonna have the best time.
Great to them.
I love him. I love this guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Now, this one is a Quick and Dirty Bouzouki cover, and I think the Bouzouki appeared way back when on the Free Punk Lyrics compilation via our friend Sarah Louise. I think, because I know I've heard Bouzouki before, and it looks, you look at this and you're like, this is going to be the most annoying one yet, the Bouzouki by someone named Supermarket Sushi. But you know what? It sounds so good. He's done all kinds of things with the riff.
Seems in tune. Okay.
Just showing off that it's in tune. The Bouzouki just kind of like sounds a little bit Tom Petty-ish or something.
Yeah, totally. So this guy is like bespeckled, long hair, beard. He's
Gets
wearing
loneliest at night.
He's wearing
Down at the liquor store.
A Bah Humbug Santa
It says
hat.
Bah Humbug.
Yeah. Moonlight.
Also looks like, you know, they're in a bedroom where they've spray painted or used the chalkboard paint or whatever in a square, and it's just dripping down. Like it's really,
Yeah, that's so cool.
Still there, if he can't take the weight of one, much less two.
This is good.
They call what we born into is that.
Damn. Is Bouzouki like actually the dopest instrument? I think it might be.
I think, yeah, I'm going absolutely bazooz for Bouzouki.
You just gotta follow through. You're doing great with those. I mean, all you gotta do is follow through.
man.
This guy's name is Gabriel 86. You know, it's just another Kourtney boy. But this guy, you know, he's giving a little bit normie vibe, almost I would say Youth Crew in a way. Like if this guy was like in Bane, I wouldn't be surprised. But he kind of is also more normie vibe. And then I feel like the TV's on in the background on the start. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh yeah, it's Taylor Swift playing in the background. And
Uh-oh.
I love her.
You got enough time with this.
She's great.
I hate to say, all these videos are making me want to cover it.
Gets loneliest at night.
Yeah, really loud
Going
birds.
crazy.
Beneath a neon sky. Moonlight, 6 a.m. The floor comes alive with lights.
I mean,
The path.
if you covered it, would you do a voice? Would you be like,
Yeah.
6 a.m.
I mean, I have currently, like, I'm in recovery of having lost my voice, and even pretending that I'm going to sing, it just feels like it hurts. But
6 a.m.
No.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. 6 a.m. It's good. It's really good.
Augustine
That's
is the name of this. Is one of the few bands I've kept on. I was interested in this one because it's cool to see a front person sitting down. Because it's not often enough you see that. And it's like cool to normalize it for like accessibility reasons. But what this guy's doing from this band is he's sitting on something that is almost completely invisible. So it actually looks like he's taking some sort of statue pose. Like, look.
Yeah, what is he?
It looks like he's just standing with his
leg crossed, yeah. There's been so few full band covers of this, eh?
There was a few that were just kind of like,
just straight,
pretty boring. So this one I was like, what's this guy sitting on? He's like doing an illusion while he... I don't know. I mean, it's mostly I wanted to think about. Is he sitting on a music stand, or is it like?
I think it's a real. It's like a totally jacked up drum throne.
Oh.
Maybe because if you look at the bottom, you can kind of see that it's got like it's like a tripod.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, that's.
But it's a bit of an optical illusion.
I think it is.
Sure.
Yeah. This next one is Da Fang. See, I love this though.
Beautiful cover.
Like the sloppier, the better with the intro. Mike James is his real name, not Da Fang is his username. Whoa! Nice little harms. Guitar harms.
It gets loneliest at night, down at the liquor store, beneath the neon sky.
Yeah,
moonlight, 6 a.m. The floor comes alive with lice. Right up so tight.
Love those double track
Heart
vocals.
and beans. We're hungry, so I lean on you.
I love that one. It's really good. I guess
Yeah,
I'm
that's
curious
fucking
what
awesome.
gets loneliest at night. I mean, it's just he's saying it's a lonely place. The liquor store.
Yeah, the vibes. The vibes are lonely.
Okay, all right. I mean, I guess so. I always thought the word lonesome was more vibey than lonely. Like, I get lonesome from One Foot in the Grave or Modest Mouse always used. I think I was always into bands that were about being lonesome rather than lonely. Was kind of my thoughts.
Interesting. I think maybe that's the difference between you and I. Is I like bands that are about being lonely, and you like bands that are about being lonesome.
I think that's true. Which honestly, lonesome is the more pretentious choice. So.
100%. Yeah, lonely is just like, damn. I'm just get right to the point. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not fuck around.
This guy's name is Bob Nana, and I think
Yeah, you know Bob Nana.
Who is he again? The name's familiar.
From Braid.
Oh, okay.
Hey Mercedes.
Fuck, I should have put this
all
at
your
the
other
start.
favorite bands.
I never really
Yeah,
listened
Bob
to
Nana
Braid.
deserved his spot. And we talked about him because he worked at Threadless, so he's like the Threadless model.
Oh yeah.
So we've talked about Bob Nana.
This
before.
this is him, right? Like, this is the Bob Nana because he doesn't have many
This is
subscribers.
the Bob
on
Nana,
here.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
this is what he did. This is really interesting, actually. This is uploaded in 2016, and he wrote, in 2001, I made a list of my 365 favorite songs. I decided to cover the top 100. It took me 14 years to maybe finish this project. So this is number 52, recorded in
sick.
2002. So maybe we need to find these songs, and maybe we need to talk to Bob Nana one day about this.
I would love to.
I
Bob
knew-
Nana was. I interviewed Bob Nana back when I had a zine.
I knew the name was familiar, but I thought that I was, second guessing myself too much or something. But that's kind of a cool project.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea.
He did They Might Be Giants, kind of like spitting the Beatles, Elliott Smith, Tom Tom Club, Alice, Steely Dan. Did a few Jawbreaker songs.
Down at the liquor store, beneath the neon sky, a moonlight, 6
I love this cover.
comes alive with light.
Yeah, this is great.
The drums are so weird. I love those weird ass drums that come in. That's so cool.
I know, that's fucking sick. Yeah, he's
so
awesome.
cool.
Like, I don't know, I don't think you've ever listened to Braid.
I think
and
I honestly think I have put it on, but I just forgot to ever listen again. It's not even a heard of, but I haven't heard. I've definitely heard it, and I think I would like it, and I just forgot about it. So I'm mostly just listening to MGK.
Rules. He's cool. Yeah.
It's such a good name too, Bob. It's kind of like banana, but Bob. So that's cool. Speaking of cool names, this band is called Dave America, and this is from Sesión Discos El Tesoro. But they're doing like such a...
It gets loneliest at night, down at the liquor store.
I mean...
With the neon sky, or moonlight, 6 a.m.
Almost like a little bit Chili Peps with it, I would say.
Yeah.
This band is from Spain. This is sick, though.
I'm just like, where are they going to go? Like, I'm so concerned. Because this is sick.
They kill it. They just drop it tastefully. And sloppy as hell.
Yeah, this fucking rules.
It's so good. Dave America. What a great name, also.
Dave America.
So cool. Oh, Dave America, you rule.
This is so good.
I think this is going to be our penultimate cover because it's just so tight.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, they're just a three-piece. They're doing so much.
Ooh, that was pretty.
Oh. It's hard to find information on Dave America band.
Yeah.
They're so sick. Oh, Dave America is the guy, the actual guy.
Oh, Dave America is a man?
Yeah.
So is he Dave? Is it like a Marilyn Manson thing where it's both the name of Dave and the band, or do you think this is like Dave America and his Americas or whatever?
It's hard to tell. I mean, the guitarist has got to be part of it because he's doing so much.
That's true. Yeah, that guy's he's a lot of this is all Guitar America.
So sick. Oh my God, Dave America. Okay, I've got one left and then you're going to play an important one. But this one I think is also important. Before we actually listen, this fella is a real cool dude. He has a channel called Andy's Oldies. And, you know, this has 40 views. It was uploaded in October of 2021. He's also covered The Who and the Traveling Wilburys and Billy Joe Royal and, you know, all kinds of old-timey shit. Hello, everybody. My name is Andy. I won't say his last name because I don't want to dox this fella and I don't know how to pronounce it. I am not a real singer. Never been. Just began to sing 1 year ago in karaoke place and like it. So I also began to sing on YouTube cover songs. I sing just for fun and pastime. I don't make any money from these songs as mostly all have copyright and goes directly to the owner. All the songs I perform are one take only, and that's why mistakes are made sometimes. In 10 months, I cover 2,000 songs here and counting. I am a French-Canadian from Montreal, Quebec, living in Thailand for 9 years and now in the Philippines for the last 5 years. I'm 75 years old. So this is Andy. Andy's Oldies. He's singing Jawbreaker.
Yeah, Andy rocks. So it's just a close-up photo of this man's face. He's holding a mic. He's how old do you think he is?
He said he's 72.
So 72. Okay.
Turns it up. I mean, I wasn't sure, but I did kind of get the impression that he might know the song.
Well, I mean, when this song came out, what year is this from?
92, and it's 2002.
This video's from. So
he would have been 50.
Yeah, I mean, loneliest at night, down at the liquor store, beneath the neon sky.
Somehow that is not what I expected to come out of him, and I fucking, oh my god.
It sounds correct.
The band's dry up, so die. We learn the living.
But also, like, what you're not getting with the visual is how expressive his face is.
Andy's so
So I
cool.
lean on you sometimes, just to see you're still there. You pick and take the weight one, but less two.
I just want to hear if he nails. Do you think he knows the song, kind of? Or?
I think, let's see what I want to see what happens to the chorus. Because I initially thought he did, and now
this mess. I know I painted you a prettier picture, baby. We were already fell from the wagon to the night.
But you know what this happens where you like pick a karaoke song?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, fuck, I do not know how this bridge goes.
I kiss a bottle.
Yeah, maybe.
I should have been kissing you.
Like, maybe. I don't know.
You wake up to an empty night.
Amazing.
Shout out to
So
Andy's
before-
Oldies.
Shout out Andy's Oldies. Andy, you rock. Josiah, before we get to our last cover, which will introduce our guest, big secret, big reveal coming.
Hell yeah.
What are your final thoughts on Kiss the Bottle by Jawbreaker?
I'm starting to kind of like it mostly because of like the twangy guitars and stuff. But you know what? I'm just glad to have gone on this journey. So I'm glad instead of kissing the bottle, I kissed you, so to speak, thought-wise, by listening to all these covers and joining you on this journey. Sam, how about you?
Well, you know, I'm glad I didn't have to kiss that toe again, so thank you. I appreciate that. Well, this song fucking rocks. I like when you force me to defend things and it makes me realize that I'm right and you're wrong and I give you too much credit. So that's my journey here. But this week we have, as I mentioned, I'm going to say this in the interview, the most famous cover of this song. I mean, this has been a staple of this band's live set for like 20 years. I saw them play this live, and then I heard the Jawbreaker version. That's my journey. They recently opened up for Jawbreaker on a few of these Dear You shows, and they were joined in Nashville by Blake to sing it. So we're going to close out with a little bit of a live version of Lucero's cover of this song with Blake Schwarzenbach, which is kind of fucking sick because this is like a highlight of Lucero show. It's a highlight of a Jawbreaker show. A what? Both together? He only comes in on the chorus, so I'm going to kind of like, I mean, I guess we just play it, but mostly it's like a, not a great, it's a cell phone video of them playing. But if you stick around for the interview, maybe our guest, whoever they are, will describe how this happened. And it's very fucking cool. Maybe we can I guess we can just sort of let this play for a minute.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay.
We don't have anywhere to be.
Well, it gets loneliest night down at the liquor store.
Yeah, because you've never heard this.
I've never have. Do they have a studio version of this cover?
Yeah.
I actually don't think I've ever heard of this band even, so.
This is kind of the vibe.
I like those keys.
Yeah, really tinkling the ivories. Blake just really cold chilling, cross-armed.
It would have been probably not the vibe, but imagine if he was hiding behind the curtain and then came out.
Big reveal. Imagine you could play piano like that.
I know.
Just tinkle,
my dad
tinkle.
can. I wish that I had learned. Here we go.
I should have been kissing you. Wake up to an empty night. Oh, now tears too. Hell yeah.
So we are now joined by Ben from Lucero, famous Jawbreaker coverer, famous Jawbreaker fan, famous Jawbreaker stage sharer. Ben, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me.
So I'm going to level with you right off the bat, and I suspect that I'm not the only person who's had this experience. I heard Kiss the Bottle, which Lucero's covered live, recorded. It's a big part of your of your discography. It sort of it sits heavy. But that was, for me, the first time I had ever heard that song. Like, I don't know that when I first heard you play it, I knew it was a Jawbreaker song. And I'm 37, so that might be, I'm using that partially as an excuse. Is that something that you've heard from other people? That because this was like not, I might have owned Dear You, but I didn't have, et cetera. I definitely didn't have, the initial compilation that this song came from. Have you heard that from other people over the years?
Yeah, for sure. And especially with Lucero. Lucero's not necessarily a punk rock band, so we've got, a wide part of our audience probably has no idea who Jawbreaker is anyways. And then the people that do like punk rock music and do like Jawbreaker, Kiss the Bottle, like you said, it wasn't on one of the, 4 albums. It was on a 7-inch. So it was kind of, it was tougher to find. And so, I've heard that a number of times, that the Lucero version was the first version that some folks have heard, which I don't know. I think we were happy to just kind of keep the song alive for a little while. I don't know. We thought it made a good cover. We thought it made a good country song.
Yeah, was that sort of the impetus? Like, obviously, you've been a fan of the band for a long time. When people talk about Red 40 or, one of your previous bands, it gets referenced a lot. Like, this is sort of like, this is the band that was really influenced by Jawbreaker. Obviously, Lucero, not a strictly punk band.
For sure.
Was there ever any consideration, like, you're going to do another Jawbreaker song, or was it just like, this is the thing that would sort of fit into what you were doing with Lucero?
I think one Jawbreaker cover was always enough, probably, for us. But we couldn't have picked a better one. I've got other Jawbreaker songs that I would say are more of my favorite Jawbreaker songs, but Kiss the Bottle, especially for when because Lucero did it very early, like right from the beginning of when the band first got together. It was one of the very first things we ever recorded, actually. And so we've been playing the song for like 22 years now, 23 years. And it just fit really with kind of what we were doing, especially at the beginning of Lucero, which was very kind of old school country influenced, with, some drinking was a big theme, in a number of the songs that we were writing at the time. And just that kind of, I don't know, that the Replacements was a big influence on us, and the Pogues, and, Townes Van Zandt. And so that kind of, I don't know, the lyrics to Kiss the Bottle, which also deals with drinking and relationships, it fit right in with kind of what we were, the colors we were painting with at the time, if you will.
And over, 22 years of performing that song, because, it has been kind of a live staple, has it evolved in its meaning for you? I mean, you talk about sort of it fitting into sort of what you wanted to do initially with the band. Obviously over 22 years, your goals, your intentions, you as a person are changing and evolving. Do you feel that what the song means to you as you perform it has evolved or changed at all over the years?
Maybe subtly. I don't know. Yeah, I'm older now. I'm 48. And I started this band when I was 24 or something like that. And so, it's now, I guess when I sing the song, it's looking back at the kind of crazier times and the youthfulness and everything that went along with that period of my life, as opposed to, being there and in it and living that lifestyle now. Things have changed just personally for me, getting married, having children, just growing older in general. I'm not living the same life I was when I was 24. That automatically kind of puts a different spin on it, I guess. But I don't know, all of that living, got me to where I am now, for better or for worse. And it's still important to me, and it still rings true when I sing it on stage to this day. There's nothing in those lyrics that, I cringe at or that I have to force myself to sing. Like it's still, I figure it still suits us pretty well.
Yeah, it still works for sure.
For sure.
Now you've played the song with Blake at this point as well, right?
Just once. Yeah. Just recently, very recently in Nashville.
So what was that, experience like, again, growing up as a fan of this band, playing it for 22 years, and then you're in Nashville with Blake singing it along with you?
That was, that was pretty surreal. And I had to kind of, we didn't really discuss it much. Adam, the drummer of Jawbreaker, and I had kind of like, oh man, what if? That would be kind of cool. And we just kind of jokingly discussed it, but I'd never approached Blake really. But then their sound crew, because we did 3 shows with them on this Dear You tour. And over the 3 days we got to know some of their crew, and they were super nice, and they kind of wanted to see it happen. And I was like, oh, well, it's kind of, just mention it and see. And then we Lucero sound checked, and we set up an extra mic that was just sitting there all by itself, because nobody else in Lucero sings. It's just me. So we set up an extra mic, and we're just kind of hoping that maybe he would walk by and we could just say, hey, jump up here and try this out at sound check. And that's exactly what happened.
It's like leaving cookies out for Santa Claus, or like,
exactly.
Smarties for ET or something. It's I like the planning that goes into it. It's beautiful.
I was too scared to just go up and ask him. So we were playing the song at sound check, and we kind of lured him on stage, and he was nice enough to give it a shot. And he's singing our version of it, so it's a totally different tempo and a totally different feel. And he's just kind of feeling it out and not really sure how to. It's apparently, to me, I'm like, oh, this is exactly how the song goes. But for him, it's like, this is nothing like what Kiss the Bottle should be.
Yeah.
But he made his way through it, and it was awesome. And then he was nice enough. We put it in the set that night, and we're opening for Jawbreaker, and we put it in our Lucero set. And he was nice enough to come out in the middle of this Lucero set and sing Kiss the Bottle with us. And I'm kind of freaking out on stage. That was definitely a moment that I never thought would happen, and it was pretty cool when it actually did.
What was the crowd reaction like? Because obviously there are people there that presumably know you, but there are also people that are just there for Jawbreaker. Sure. And then Blake's on stage playing a kind of countrified version of a Jawbreaker song with you. Like, what was the vibe like in that room?
Man, they were extremely friendly to us. I was kind of sweating it, because I know there are a lot of people that, we're from Memphis, Tennessee, and we're playing Nashville, so not too far away. And so I knew a lot of folks that were at the early Lucero shows, the Memphis folks, that we might not have seen them for, 20 years. And they're, they might have come to some Lucero shows back in the old days, but they're not exactly Lucero fans now. And they've grown up with us, and they know who we are. And they're definitely there to just see Jawbreaker. They're not there to see us at all. And I was a little worried we might get some heckling, even from some old friends of ours, possibly. But when Blake came out and we started playing Kiss the Bottle, everybody was real happy. Everybody just kind of went nuts, and they were singing along, and the crowd singing along with Blake, and I felt like I was kind of singing along with Blake, and just the fact that he would be willing to do it, it was a much more positive, awesome vibe than I thought it might be. So it worked out better than I thought.
That's amazing. I love the idea that your friends are also just there to heckle you, because otherwise, like, what are friends for, I guess?
They're not Lucero fans. They're like, oh, your band? Yeah, whatever. No, but I'm going to see Jawbreaker. So yeah, it was a good experience.
Overall, how was the experience of playing those shows outside of that one moment? And again, is like growing up a fan of that band.
Man, yeah, being asked to do it. I mean, I sound goofy just saying, you know, what a big compliment it was. But it was. And we'd, you know, Lucero's been on tour forever, and Adam, again, the drummer, he was the first guy that we got to know from the band. He actually just started coming out to shows. I don't know if he heard that we were covering Kiss the Bottle or if we were just on his radar somehow, but every time we went to San Francisco, he would show up and just kind of hang out and say hi. And you know, of course we told him what big fans of Jawbreaker we were. And so we've known him for a long time. And, you know, there was always a kind of, oh man, well, if this ever happens, if we ever, you know, do a tour, we're gonna have to play some shows. And yeah, he kept his word and actually gave us a slot. So, yeah, I would have loved to have done more. Like I said, we only did 3 shows. And I would love to have done, you know, 2 weeks. I really enjoyed just watching them after our set. Yeah, it was pretty special. Like, you know, I was in high school when I first started listening to Jawbreaker, because I was in high school in the early 90s, and then my college years were kind of the mid 90s. And actually Lucero wouldn't be a band. I met the girl that I moved to Memphis for. I kind of followed her to Memphis. I met her at a Jawbreaker show on the Dear You tour. But yeah, they've been a big part of my life, so it was a pretty cool thing.
That's amazing. And so what was your introduction to the band? Like when you were in high school, do you remember the first thing that you heard, or the first thing that you heard that you latched onto?
Man, Bivouac was the first record that I listened to a whole lot. And my high school girlfriend was kind of responsible for introducing me to a whole lot of music. And there was a great punk rock scene in Little Rock, Arkansas, is where I grew up. And so just everybody that was going to shows and everybody that was in bands, everybody in that Little Rock kind of scene, of course, we're all Jawbreaker fans. So that's kind of how I discovered it, I guess. And then loved 24 Hour. And I went back and, you know, was listening to Unfun, but it was really Bivouac that made the biggest impression on me. And to this day, I think Bivouac, the song, is still one of my favorite Jawbreaker songs, probably. But then, yeah, and then Dear You came out, and it was different, but to me, I don't know, it didn't seem as different. It wasn't the change from 24 Hour to Dear You didn't strike me as odd as it did, obviously, a lot of other people. I remember seeing on that Dear You tour where I met the girl from Memphis. I hadn't heard the record yet, but there's this bass drum part, and I think it's, what song is it? I always get confused. I think it might be Accident Prone. And there's just this kick drum part where he goes, doo, 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 doo. And I saw that live, and I was like, oh man, this next record's going to be great. And so when I heard it on the record, it was still just as great as I thought it was going to be. And so I always liked Dear You.
So you weren't one of the people that like rejected the band in that moment, because you read a lot about that retrospectively, obviously.
Yeah, and I was never that. I don't know. I didn't really have a dog in that race. I was just fine with Dear You being Dear You, and I didn't want Jawbreaker to go anywhere. And so yeah, I felt bad for them and all the backlash that they were having to put up with. I didn't think it was quite fair at the time, actually, and I don't know. That might be why. Just a few years later, I started a country band that was not technically a punk rock band. The way we did some stuff was punk rock, like I said, for better or for worse. But and we have those roots. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of I don't know. It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Just I didn't think they got a fair shake, maybe.
Yeah, I can see, you know, especially being part of that moment, like the rigidity and the reaction to that being extremely off-putting, because it's funny to look at it again. Sort of first Jawbreaker record I heard was "Dear You," and I was like, "This is fucking amazing!"
Right?
Like, you're telling me people like sat down and turned their backs on the band when they would play. Like, that's
it's rough.
It's outrageous from a sort of living in the future standpoint.
Sure,
it must have been quite uncomfortable at the time.
And yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I mean, like I said, I saw him on the "Dear You" tour, and I mean, I don't know how big the crowd was, but it wasn't like it was a small crowd, and I didn't hear anybody. I didn't see anybody turning their backs on him, but yeah, I know that they had to deal with a whole lot of bullshit for sure. But every time I saw him play live, yeah, they were just Jawbreaker, and they were just great.
Amazing. It's funny you're talking about like various people, like, girlfriends, girls who followed to Memphis, people in your life that were kind of a part of that moment of discovery. And obviously at that time in your life, music, I mean, it obviously still is a communal experience, but it's so related. The things you get into are so related to the people around you and family.
For sure.
I was found I think an interview with your brother Jeff talking about how the Fugazi shirt in Mud was like almost a Jawbreaker shirt, and I feel like the Fugazi shirt is obviously great, but it's almost a shame. Have you ever weighed in on which punk shirts, like, do you think it should have been a Jawbreaker shirt? I guess in Mud is what I'm asking.
I think it would have been I think I don't know, because I'm a big Fugazi fan too.
Yeah, it's not like he's letting down the cause or anything.
No, and Jeff, I remember when he was doing that, and I don't know who he called. He might have called Ian. I'm not sure. He got on the phone with somebody just to ask permission, and and they're like, well, Fugazi never made shirts, and Jeff's like, well, I know, but I'm gonna have a homemade Fugazi shirt, and they're like, yeah, I guess so, because we never made them. And they're like, just like, cool. And I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. So I guess the fact that Fugazi never sold T-shirts maybe kind of makes it funnier. And so I'm fine with it being a Fugazi shirt in Mud. But yeah, Jawbreaker was just a big influence on us for sure.
So Ben,
probably more so.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, again, like I think about that, Red 40 really feels like it's got like Jawbreaker in its DNA, right?
100%. And I don't think about Red 40 very much anymore, but that was my Little Rock band. Yeah, kind of in my, I don't know, 19, 20, 21, those years. And yeah, it was heavily influenced by Jawbreaker for sure, more so than I thought at the time. I go back and listen to it, and I'm like, ooh, this is. I don't listen to it very much, but when I do, I'm like, oh man, yeah, I see what I was ripping off now.
I was a fan of something, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Ben, I really appreciate your time. A real pleasure to talk Jawbreaker with you. Is there anything or anywhere in particular that people should know about or check out at this moment? This will be coming out, as a spoiler, probably a week or two from when we're talking. So you can reveal anything secretive if it's coming up in the next week or two.
Man, no. We got Lucero's always on the road. Just keep an eye out for us on the internet. And we'll be coming to a town near you sometime in the future, hopefully the near future. But yeah, we're working on a new record, hopefully come out early next year. So that kind of stuff, regular stuff for Lucero.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
You too. Good luck with everything.
Cast the bottle all night.